Hello, welcome to Tangle Tuesday. Loretta West is I'm your teacher today, certified Zentangle teacher and soul collage facilitator. And today we're going to have a love themed Zentangle lesson for you. And I have done many hearts and many Zentangle, Valentine, whatever, Valentine's Day themed stuff. So it's hard to find one that I haven't done, but I did find one that I hadn't done, so which is good. So you're going to need some tools. You're going to need some paper. Today I'm using Strathmore mixed media paper, which is 90 pounds. So it's fairly thick. It is good in that it takes, let me need some light on the subject here. It takes wet and dry medium pretty well. I wouldn't soak it if you are using wet medium. And you're also going to need a pen, and I have a Micron PN pen. And you're going to need a pencil. I've got an HB pencil, Zentangle pencil, but any old pencil will do. And I have tortillon or a blending stump. And just take a minute. Take a minute to get yourself situated. Feel comfortable where you're sitting. You know, if you got to wiggle, wiggle. I've got one of this thing on my chair called a Dyna disc, and it's like a little tuffet. Sitting on my tuffet, but it's a little raised thing. And the idea with it is that it's raised in the middle. It's very comfortable to sit on, but that I can wiggle back and forth when I'm sitting, so I don't get rigid in the lower back. Something you might want to look at. And for colors today, you're going to need either markers or colored pencils. I'm going to be using got some transparent watercolors I've had for a zillion years. And they've fallen out of their little discs things. Here we go. Transparent means that you can see through them. And I've had this set. They don't even make them anymore. That's how old it is. Bought it on vacation when I forgot my watercolors. Okay, and I also have a watercolor brush pen. Work that up. And some paper towel. I couldn't remember the name. Paper towel. Okay, and I've also got some watercolor pencils, but anything you've got to make color, if you wish to make color, you don't have to. Today would be good. So these are Caran d'Ache Super Color Soft colored pencils, and there's one missing, and I don't know who it is, but it's gone. And then a little bling. I do like a little bling, so I've got a couple options today. I've got these Starry Colors by Kuretake, which is gold to a silver. Lovely, lovely. And I have a Krylon gold leafing pen, which I bought when I was buying things for my sister. Haha, how handy was that? You for me. So, you know, bring whatever you've got. It's just fine. As I said, just get yourself comfortable. We're going to start with a pencil. Now, if you have, you could use a Zentangle tile, excuse me, Zentangle tile like this little jobby for this. You could use also a round Zentangle tile. You could use any kind of paper you've got. It doesn't have to be square, and this one is rectangular. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see. There we go. So there it is. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to just draw a square to keep focus here on my paper, and see how wiggly woggly my lines are. I don't care. That's all right. It's all right. I'm just going to do this. Bring it down a little bit so you can see. So if you've got a Zentangle square, this would represent that square. And we're going to do a fairly large heart shape. And so I'm going to start here. So this is roughly a third down from the top. And just do my heart. Now it doesn't, mine's going to be sort of at an angle here, but you could do yours more vertical, and it's going to be kind of a different shape. It's going to not be symmetrical. So you can make yours however you like. And again, I'm using my pencil for that. And within this, then I'm going to go over it with my PN pen. Just going to go right over those lines to restate the line. I find it helps me to start with pencil. And I think just for fun, I'm going to do a little curlicue here on the end. So just to let you know, if you lose your connection, you can always get back in. I left the Zoom room door open, so don't worry about that. Then I'm going to divide this space with some arcing lines, and then aura that line, so parallel. Oh, let's be a silly pen. And do the same over here. So now I've got 3 empty spaces to fill with tangles. We have a backup pen here in case this one, I just grabbed it in case this one decides to just not cooperate. So I'm going to start differently. I'm going to start in the middle, this middle space. And this is going to be the Tangle henna drum. I'll write this down for you. Right down here, henna, but with a little twist. And henna drum is by Jane McCougler. All right, so I'm doing the middle. I'm going to start with this little C shape or crescent shape, just like you would for a crescent moon. And then in the middle, another one. And then a little bit further along, I'm going to do another one. And then a little further along, another one. So whatever you've got room for, maybe you don't have room for 2, maybe you have room for 1 or, oh, sorry, 3. Maybe you have room for only 1. And then I'm going to start with, now normally, just to show you, normally henna drum has these petals that come off with 3 lobes, like that. But seeing as Valentine's Day is around the corner, we are going to do it in a heart fashion, like that. So very simple. I find it really helpful if I start my Zentangle with something easy and then sort of work up on the difficulty scale. So sort of get my brain ready and my muscles ready, saying, oh yeah, right, this is what we're doing. I'll do a third one here. And if they overlap, if yours are close together and they overlap, that's okay. I'm going to do that with this one just to show you. So I'm going to bring it up to here and then come back down. So I just flew over that one little heart pebble. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to aura or just draw an outline around these shapes. Again, I urge you to go slowly, even though you can go fast. Let's just go slowly, and this helps the central nervous system to calm down by going slowly. Helps it adapt. We may be more advanced in so many ways, but when it comes to our nervous system, we're still in the cave. But to remember that. Okay, so that's henna drum. And if you want, you could do another aura around that. I might just do that. I might just sort of group them together with one big aura, because I'm just in an aura kind of mood today. Send that peace out. Send the peace out into the world. That's what we're doing. We're sending out our peace that we create into the world. All right. So in behind here, what to do? I thought, what to do? So I'm going to grid this off with slightly curving lines. Yours can be straight. They can be wiggly. They can be any old way you want them. And then I'm going to have about equidistance to this, about the same width this way, this coming down as this was. Coming down here. So then like this, so it's like that. Oops. Pen, please stay with ink. I just talked to it, maybe it'll act nicely. All right, and another one down here. Maybe a little bit through there. Another one here. So this next tangle is a very simple one to do, but it can be easily flipped in your brain. So you have to kind of pay attention. It's called Heart Box by Helen Williams. And I don't know that she is still updating her blog, etc. She also ran a farm. So, but if you want to look up her blog, it's very good. There's beautiful, beautiful images. So how this works is we're going to start with a heart shape. I'm going to just do, you do every second heart this way. So upright towards me. So squeezing a little heart, then I leave a space. And that's where the brain part comes in, to remember to do that. And if you don't, it's okay. to this way. And then this one is going to be staggered. And then this one coming up from the bottom, maybe. Squish one in there. And the next row down. Okay, one little guy in here. So it looks right. Now I'm going to switch it and work the other ones the other way. So you could, so I'll give you a choice. You could do the hearts in the other direction if you want to. You could put a dot where the empty ones are. You could put another tangle in there like printemps, or a Greek key, or anything that you would want to do, or some maybe some horizontal or vertical lines or diagonal lines. But we are going to do it this way, or I'm going to do it this way, which is the opposite to the first one. And again, if you get it mixed up, it's okay, just keep going. Keep going, keep going. There's so much happening in this, but it's just not going to be that noticeable. But you can also, if it's early on, is sort of repeat that little oops that you may have encountered and repeat it so that it looks like you'd planned it all along. So you might have something that looks like that, and you may not. It may look completely different for you, and that's okay. And what do I got here? Oops, wrong color. Aha. So I've got a little brush pen in here. So around these hearts, you could black them in. You could use some diagonal lines around them. Just give you a little sample here is my paper, which I have a zillion pieces of paper. I was working away yesterday, so I've created all these little tiny pieces of paper as a result. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what that looks like. Oh, it's Day of Pens, Sleepy Pens. What the heck? How about you find one that works? Okay, it's a really big pen. It's also sleepy. It must have been very cold down here last night. So here's my grid. What's going on? Oh, that's funny. Okay, here's your grid, and here are your hearts. And like that. Can I draw an upside down heart? No problem. Okay, I've got a brush pen, so I go in and go around those hearts. And that's how Helen shows it in her blog. You could also do no diagonal lines shooting through here. So you could do that. You could do a combination of things, or you could leave it the way it is, nice and open to color in later on, which I think I will be doing. And then I'm going to do some orbs or little circles in here. But you could leave these as just a banner coming through. And maybe while you're doing this, since it is a love theme, a Valentine's theme, you can think about the meditation of loving kindness and repeat the words, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you live in peace, may you live with ease. And to yourself, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I live in peace, may I live with ease. As the world works out its pain, really, it's pain and suffering all around us. So this next one is by Molly Holbaugh of Zentangle fame, and it is a word that's hard to pronounce, but I pronounce it strickles, S-T-R-I-R-C-L-E-S, which is an odd spelling, but hey, but we're going to do it a little different. In that we're going to incorporate some love into it. Okay. So you could do this anywhere in your remaining segments that you have left. And I'm going to start mine. I'm going to do mine here. Got a fairly good space here, so I'm going to turn my paper so it's facing me at a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to work downhill towards myself. And I'm going to do a wiggly line, a wavy line coming down. And another one. So this is what they call an official Zentangle pattern. There's a number of them. I don't even know how many there are now, but this is one of the first ones that they did. Came up with. So on these two strings, or if you have room for three, great. or 4. But you want to have space in between. We're going to do some heart shapes and some orb shapes. And the orbs don't have to be round, they can be oval. And the hearts can all be different. So you could make it so that it's, 2 hearts and 3 orbs or something like that if you want it to be uniform. But if you want it to be free form like I'm doing, just do whatever pops into your head. I'm going to do another one over here. Maybe part of an orb right there. And then some of them I'm going to aura the inside. It's hard here. Not all of them, just some of them. For interest. And same with the little orb there. Maybe one up there. So if you have room, if you don't have room, you don't have to do that. And then this is where it gets the brain again, has to think. So you decide which side is going to be light and which is going to be dark of your central line here. So I'm just going to restate this line and make it a little darker so you can see it. Okay, so I've decided that on my right side will be my dark side. So I'm going to go in and actually I got a brush pen for that. So a brush pen with a thicker nib. And we're going to, oh, we did our brush pen. This one. There we go. Throw that one away. And then I'm going to do the outer part of this little donut shape. Same with that. So this is going to be my dark side. As we explore the shadow sides of our personality are as important as the bright side. Okay, and then on the other side is the light side, but I have these inner bits here. So I want the light side to be facing the inner side, but I'm just going to go in and where it has a little insert, I'm just going to do that, make that a little dark. So now I've got a light side and dark side, and within that is a little bit of light. So this is my light side coming down. So this inner part here is also going to be my light side. Again, I'm going to restate this line. Okay, so I'm going to be darkening the outer side here, the other side of my line. And since I want it to be dark, the dark is going to be playing with the light. I'm going to do the outside. So this is something you might have to play around with. If you have a hard time sort of getting a tangle to work for you, you have the option of doing it larger on a bigger piece of paper. And sometimes it really helps to sort of open up and allow you to see. So I can see over here too, I've got some inner ones I've got to darken a little bit. Allow you to see what's going on and play with it. So I could leave it like that, and I could color in all around it. But I think what I'm going to do is do some diagonal lines on my dark side on this one. Again, you could use, while you're doing this in your brain, recite the loving kindness meditation. And maybe you're thinking, oh, I'm going to give this to somebody as a Valentine. Maybe while you're doing that, think of that person or people and see where my lines are going. Not so diagonal this way, now they're coming up the other way. I'm just letting it happen, man. It's okay. And then we're going to do it from the other side over here. So just think about that person, maybe send them some love, some loving kindness as you work along. You could also abandon this somewhere for somebody to find. You can imagine that person finding your Valentine and sending that person loving kindness. So you might have something that looks like this. It may not look like this at all, but it's okay. Whatever is here for the party today is just fine. And the next one, it's a little different, and it's called, I'm going to say it's Puzzle, Pussle, by Sylvia Liad. I'm not sure how to say her name, but that is Liad is how you spell it. Give you a couple minutes to catch up here. Okay, so this one starts with an S shape, and you might only have room for, a couple of them up here, 2 S's. So I'll just do 2 S's. So start with an S here. How the S looks doesn't matter. And then another one, leave a good space, and then another one over here. Then you're going to connect them by coming off of the top of the S and using a swooping line down. And then a connecting line from the top of this S up here and the bottom of this S to down there. And then the aura, these lines. And then in the little corner here, rounding that off. So essentially you can see that you've got a heart shape here. And the more you round it off, oops, I'm gonna go a little more rounder here. The more it looks like an askew heart. Two hearts together. And you could continue this one so that it's there and just like you were doing another one. But I think I'm going to squeeze in some little orbs around it. Maybe a heart or two. Maybe take stock of how you're feeling right now. Do you feel different than you did when you started? I do. I feel much more at ease with myself and all that's going on around me. So that's puzzle. I'm just going to restate my little hearts here. Do some more heart orbs in there. And then we're going to do, if you have room, do a little something out of the top. So this one is called Catkin. And the reason I'm doing this one is because, let me write that down. There have been a few pussy willows spotted coming out around. I have not seen any to pick, which I love to do and bring them inside. Catkin is by Mimi Limpart. And for me, pussy willows are the surest sign of spring. So coming out of the top here, I'm going to have some branch-like lines. Do as many as you want. Oops, make it so you can see it. And then the little catkins, the little fuzzy bits. So sort of the C shape, like that. Let me a little bit of a, there we go. And then a little tiny bit of dotted line, and then another line around like that. You might want to do a little darker here so you can see that bit. And try another one here. Another one right there, just sort of a little tiny guy. So just a bit of spring coming out the top. And then how we're going to color this? Well, I said I've got my watercolors here, and I have my watercolor pencil. Where's my brush pen? Here we go. So start at the top here. Whoops, open these things up. And I'm going to look at, juicy colors, maybe some stronger colors. Here's a real hot pink. So I've got my watercolor brush. Oh, I'll move this over here, and you can see, you can get some water out there, and I can just use it on the end of my pencil here. And if it's a little much, a little too wet, I can dab it off on my paper towel. Let's just start at the top here and just add a little pink here and there. Oops, it's a little strong, so I'm just gonna sort of model it on there. I'm gonna cover the whole thing. This looks marbled. See what that looks like when it dries. I always add more once it dries. The thing about watercolor is you don't want to play with it too much. You can play with it while it's wet, but not too much. Kind of let things sort of just got a little bit of red here. I'm gonna do the same thing too. I like sort of to consider watercolor my first layer, and then go in and make some accents with colored pencil or with a marker. So to clean these, you just hold it over top of a paper towel and squeeze a little water through it, and then just rub it on there. Well, it's clean again. Handy to use that way, especially if traveling. And then I've got this red. Let's do a little bit of red in here. Start with, it's more of a pinky red. Let's find a better red. This is more of a Scarlet Lake red. More of a scarlet color. That's better. More contrast going. But you can see, even though I'm using very, very little water, this paper is buckling a little bit. At least I can see that. So just to remember that this mixed media paper can only go so far. And if you really like to use watercolor, that is worth investing in some watercolor paper. And I find for tangling that hot press, it's more expensive, but hot press paper is really good for both tangling and watercolor. What to do about that little bit right there? I think I'll just go in this pinky red and just color that in. Yeah. So I've got this purple, which is a nice passionate purple. They call it violet. And I'm going to do little hearts here. So just have fun with this and invite color, whatever. It doesn't have to be purple, pink, and red. It can be blue, it can be yellow, it can be green. Whatever your heart's desire. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see upcoming classes. You can also share your work on Instagram, and please tag me, Loretta West, actually loretta.west.artist. You can join the Tangle Tuesday Facebook group. Tangle Tuesday is 2 words, and share your work there. And I think I'm just going to go over here and just, once I get going on the color, man, it's hard to stop. So I invite you to come back and explore another lesson with me. I'll be back next Tuesday. Until we meet again, keep well, my friends.
Thank you.